guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Oh my gosh, this feels so weird. I've not filmed a video in, I think, a month. And it sounds so weird because I've been on YouTube since, oh my god, high school. So after a little break like this, when I come back, I don't know what I'm doing and I feel so weird. Today we're going to be doing some eye swatches of the new Rare Beauty palette. This is the True to Myself eyeshadow palette. It is hashtag do people still say hashtag? That's so corny. It's adorable. I'll say that much. It looks so freaking cute. I'm actually really excited by this palette, and we'll get into that in a second. I do want to apologize though, definitely, for being gone for so long. March was one of the worst months of me and Alok's entire lives together. It was horrible. I'm not going to go into all the detail because I don't want to be quite honest, but it was just, you know how they say when it rains it pours? Like, we have been in a monsoon for a month. We're okay, we're fine. It was just a lot to deal with. I had, you know, a parent trying to leave in the middle of COVID. I didn't want that to happen. Alok and I thought we were going to be moving twice in this past month for Alok's work, and it was like, what the hell do we do? And we don't have to move anymore, thank God, but we were possibly moving to like 2 different states just all of a sudden, and I haven't even talked to my family about that yet because it was like, what the fuck are we gonna do? And now I'm talking all about it when I told you I didn't want to bore you with it. And one of the hardest things, and it sounds so silly because it's just a freaking car, but Alok and I used all of our wedding gift money to buy this car that we loved so much. It's an older car. We're not super bougie people. We're just not. And so we saved up all of our wedding gift money and money of our own, and we bought this SUV that we loved so very much. And it was used. It was older, but it was definitely the nicest car we've ever had, and we were so in love with it. Alok was in a really bad accident, and he is okay. He doesn't have a scratch on him, thank God. But our car was totaled, and it's crazy. Like, I never thought that I would care so much about, I'm just thankful he's alive. And I was shocked that this time I was just like gutted that, like, you know, this car that we saved and used all of our wedding money on and we worked so hard to buy ourselves and not, you know, lease or anything like that. The fact that it can just be totaled in a second, like, it hurt. It hurt because we worked really hard to get it. So that was hard. I don't know, because it's been a bad month. It's been bad. And for the month that I wasn't filming, it felt like the longest month of my life. And now looking back, I haven't even talked about everything that happened to us in March. Now that I look back at March, I'm like, wow, a month really isn't that long of a time. And the amount of horrible things that were thrown at us in 1 month, I have no words. But so it's taken me some time to get back to filming because our life was in shambles for an entire month, and now we're okay. And actually we're doing really well, and we're finally like getting good news again. I mean, I don't know, I feel like I haven't gotten good news in years. Especially with COVID. Has anyone gotten good news in like a year? Not us. Alok is starting a new job. I'm so excited for him. He's got this amazing job with a nonprofit that I'm really excited for him. Something he's passionate about and helping other people, and it's going to be an amazing job for him. I'm so happy for him. So I just want to say a little congrats to Alok. I'm excited. I feel like for so long his, you know, job, it's hard to find a job that rewards you, you know, especially when your job isn't necessarily like what you went to college for. Like he went to college for psychology with the, you know, the main focus of helping people, but just within the process of all that, you sometimes get stuck at these jobs and it's really not filling your soul. And I feel like now he has a job where he's actually helping people, and I'm so excited for him, and it's a big deal. So like, finally, good news. Super stoked for him. Applause for Alok. Anyway, so yeah, basically, I'm sorry. I also want to say, I have to admit, the James Charles stuff that's going on triggered me in a way that I did not see coming. It brought up a lot of my own personal triggers, and I was trying to sit down to film videos, and every time I did, by the end of the video, I was just crying, and I was angry, and I was screaming, and it was nothing that needed to be seen on the internet. I have to admit that it's definitely, I can't put into word. If you have a trigger, you understand. It hits you when you weren't expecting. It brought up things that I haven't thought about since I was maybe 13, 14 years old, where I was in a similar situation where it was happening to me and I didn't know any better because I was a kid. And to see this happening now, I need to stop because I can feel it coming again. Now let's get on to why we are here. This is the Rare Beauty True to Myself palette. When I first saw this online, I went through a wave of emotions. I was like, eh. And then I was like, I was like that girl who, what is she doing? You know what I'm talking about? That little meme, that little gif of the, yeah, no. Like, it was like, I had that reaction. And I've settled on, without trying it, mind you, so far, so it could change. I've settled on, I really freaking like it. I don't know. It's unique. It looks unique. It looks different. Yes, there's a lot of warm tones, which we see often, but they're different. There's this kind of dull grayish plum next to this beautiful peach. We have this cranberry color, an amazing sparkly foil, and then just, you know, deliciousness. I don't know. Altogether, it just looks beautiful to me. I gotta zoom you beautiful bitches in. Oh my god, I haven't zoomed you in like a month! Ah! Now, you guys know when I normally do these live swatching videos, I do them primer free, just a little touch of concealer on the eyelids just to give the shadow a little something to grab onto, but not enough to like change the color and the consistency. Like, for example, if you have a super powdery, fluffy shadow that just doesn't stick very well, but you use a super creamy base underneath, it all looks fine. I don't like to give the shadow too much prep. I want to see how it really performs on its own without too much, you know, other contributing factor. But I will say, Rare Beauty has also put out an eyeshadow primer, so I've thought just the fairest way to go about this so we can kind of see both is if I do each shadow with the primer and without. So that way you can see how the primer works, how it works with just concealer, da-da-da-da-da. I love the sleekness of this packaging. I love the size. When I first saw this, I was like, oh man, I wish that the glitter wasn't the biggest eyeshadow, because I was like, you know, how often are you going to use the glitter, really? What you really want is like, you know, the meat of the palette. You want the shadows that you'll wear on a daily basis. And then I was just kind of like, well, we have like so many other palettes that you can use with the glitter, like who effing cares? The glitter shadow is gorgeous, and it would be harder to find a dupe maybe for the glitter than it would any of these other, you know, I don't want to say more plain shadows, but you get what I'm saying, right? So that's what I mean by I kept going back and forth about how I felt about it, and I've come to the conclusion that I really like that the glitter shadow is the biggest shadow. And this is the eyeshadow primer. It looks super cute, and I think it's a little pigmented. It looks a little, you know, kind of creamy colored. I didn't see if they have other shades. I'm an idiot. I should have checked that first. I'm a little rusty here, people. Okay, looks like it just comes in one shade. We'll see if it really has much pigment or anything like that. We will do primer on this eye. How about that? Just blending that in. Should have just used my finger. Much easier. I know these are the weightless eyeshadow primers. I will say it dries down very fast. I actually feel like I over blended it in. So keep that in mind. Don't think of it as like a tacky, like an Urban Decay primer potion situation or a paint pot. It feels much lighter, and I do feel like I over blended it in because then it started to feel a little dry. So just keep that in mind. First one is this guy right here. Do they have names? I don't know which way this palette goes, but this guy right here. I thought this is just the prettiest little plum. And this is the ColourPop E7 brush. I really like the softness of the shades in this palette. Yes, it's a darker shadow, but there's a softness to it. And, you know, it'll vary depending on skin tone, of course. So when I say it's a little bit darker, it might not be at all to you. Oh, I think that's so pretty. It's actually less plummy when you get it on the eye. That is really pretty, and it's really soft. I thought it was going to be a little bit bolder, but I kind of like the softness of it. All right, bouncing to the other eye with not much base at all. Same brush. Yeah, see, notice that difference. You can wear it either way. Without the base, it's going to be much sheerer and lighter, which actually I think is kind of really nice for spring and summer. But you know, if you wanted to boost it up a bit, little primer sure does the job there. I like it though. I think it's very on trend for current makeup looks. You know, everything's kind of, not everything, I mean, it depends on what you're going for, but there's a lot of more natural type of application and makeup that almost just looks like a shadow on the eyes. Duh, eyeshadow. But like, you know what I'm talking about. Just a little more natural. So you can have it either way. I love them both. I think they're both beautiful. So yeah, that is the shade, I believe that shade is Undeniable. And it is undeniably beautiful. Alright, the next shade is this gorgeous little peachy looking color. I believe this is called Genuine. I'm so bad at reading the back of the palettes because it's like reversed and I'm like, I always almost flip the name. So if I'm doing it wrong, I apologize. It would not be out of character for me. Yeah, I can just tell from this one and the second one, you're definitely going to want a decent base if you want a lot of color because they are pretty sheer. And I don't think they're sheer, you know, because they're bad. I think it's the look, you know? It's this kind of weightless, effortless kind of summertime makeup, I think. And I kind of like that. I don't know. It just, I really am impressed. It's usually not my style. It's not what I go for. But it feels unique and different to me. That's very pretty. Very, very, very light, though. I am curious to see how this would show up on people of color and all different types of skin tones. I'm going to be watching some reviews because I am curious. So there it is on top of the primer. And now we will do it without the primer. What was your guys' first impressions of this palette when you saw it? I'm very curious. Yeah, you see, I like that. I love this. Why do I like it? I'm normally attracted to more bold looks, but I love the effortlessness and just like the pretty natural coloring of it. I think it's so pretty. I won't shut up about it because it's like so out of my character. It's really not a me thing. I don't gravitate towards this, but right now I am. It's insane. Anyways, you guys, that is the shade Genuine. All right, the very next shadow. Oh, this is pretty. What is this called? Passionate. I think that's an appropriate name. It's kind of red, and then when I turn it, it looks a little brown. It's interesting. What is it reminding me of? I swear we just tried a product like a month ago that was like this as well. I can't remember. So this is the primer side, which of course, you know, if you're going to use something more metallic or any shimmer at all, you're gonna want a good decent primer to get a nice payoff. It's just the way the cookie crumbles, you know? But I like the subtlety of it. It's not too much. It's not too loud. Fun for a little summer night. A socially distanced, safe summer night, I will say. The pandemic is not over, people. Despite what, you know, a lot of people's Instagrams are showing, it is not over. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that today. It's extremely soft. If you want like a real bold metallic, I would not say that this is for you. It's perfect for someone who wants these kind of red metallic-y tones that aren't too loud. I kind of applied it super high, which you normally would not do for a metallic, so it looks kind of weird up there. I feel like I'm not doing it any favors. Is that better? I like the softness of it. I do. Now let's try it on my other eye. I don't know about you guys, but I am so unprepared for spring. We have the smallest closets in this house, so every season we literally have to box up our winter clothes, bring back out our summer clothes or spring clothes or whatever. And just because we've been so stuck in the house, I really haven't even thought about it. And then, you know, last month, end of March, when we were having such a hard freaking time, Alok was like, we need to start going on like nightly walks and get some fresh air out of like the madness that is randomly happening to us. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's really actually quite warm out. Let me go see if I can find some, you know, light clothing. And I had nothing. I'm wearing all like off the shoulder sweaters right now because I still don't have any proper spring and, you know, summer attire. This one looks pretty similar. It's weird with a dry brush and with a cream base and without much of a base at all. It's kind of interesting. I think the color is beautiful though. I am shocked that I like it, but I freaking do. That is the shade Passionate. Finally, we are getting to the glitter eyeshadow. I am so excited about this. Is it like a... It is! It's like a ColourPopy one. Well, not really. It's like a creamy glitter. You guys, you know, if you've ever used like a creamy glitter, you know the exact consistency of it. And it's like pure glitter. I don't even think you would need primer for this because it's just that sticky kind of feeling. And I hope you don't mind. I'm only going to do one eye with the glitter. It's going to look the same either or. You know what I mean? It's not like it won't change pigment, you know? Glitter is glitter, so. It's pretty though. It's just a nice, warm, coppery, delicious little glitter. Simple enough. It's cute, you guys. It's cute. So that is Accepting. The next shade is Loyal. I'm really interested in how deep this one's gonna go because that first one really threw me for a loop. I thought it was gonna be a lot deeper than it was. Oh, this one's it's a nice tone. And I'm so sorry, I really couldn't get all the glitter off my freaking eyeball. I can't find my glitter tape. It's a very nice medium brown. And there's just a gorgeous warmth to it. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful color? I like that a lot. Let's go to the other eye now. Is it sundown yet? Oh, it's almost sundown. I've been trying to go sit outside just to get out of the house every night before it gets too dark, just to clear my mind. It has been such a stressful month, you guys. I can't even express it. This is very, very pigmented because I don't have any primer or anything on this eye, and it is going on quite well. A little more sheer like we expected, but wowza. I like this formula a lot. It's very unique to me. It feels just super thin, but impactful, not like cheaply thin. I don't want you to think that. It's interesting because you can see how it's a little bit, you know, lighter out here than it is here. I don't know. It's interesting. I like it. Take a little blending brush, see what that does. Not a huge difference between them. That's all right. Of course, if you were to go in with a more fluffy brush like this straight away, you could have a much more natural application if that's what you're going for. Using this kind of, you know, pack-on brush, it's going to be a little more pigmented every time. Or a little more concentrated in color, I should say. Ooh, but blends out very pretty. This one's, I see a little patchiness over here, and this one looks a lot smoother, so the base is probably going to be best for this shadow because I can just see a few areas where it didn't grab perfectly, but that's okay. Use the primer. Avoid that completely. So that is the shade Loyal. This next shade I think looks so pretty and unique. It's not picking up on camera, but I don't know. It looks interesting. It's called Positive. Wonder if they'll ever run out of like super radiant descriptive words. Because it seems like everything's kind of been named that type of thing. I love this. I love this. I love this. It's not too icy. It's the perfect little beige with just a hint of this gorgeous gold. Look at that. Do you see how it just looks like beautiful skin? Just dewiness. It's fantastic. I love this color. Oh my goodness. Anymore, sometimes I feel silly in metallic shadows, but something like this, it's effortless, it's easy, it's beautiful. If you have a bold lip color or just a lip choice in mind that you want to wear, but it's one of those lip colors that you're kind of just like, oh my god, what shadow would I even wear with this? Either go with no shadow, but something like this, I think is fantastic. And it's just, it looks like yummy summer skin. That's how I would describe it, which makes me somewhat sound like a cannibal, but I am not. I mean just like yummy good, not like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And now the other eye next to no base. This eye was probably pointless to do this whole video, wasn't it? I'm sorry, but who cares? You know, it's a small palette, so I wanted to, you know, wanted you to get your money's worth out of this video. It's definitely, obviously, a lot less smooth without the primer. Still gorgeous in my opinion, and it would look gorgeous as just a brow bone highlight for anybody. That is the shade Positive. I'm sad this is over. I want more palettes, Rare Beauty, okay? This very last one is Pure, and it looks like a really yummy kind of 70s disco era gold. I don't know why, but it makes me think of that. I'm like so into the 70s, you guys. Oh my god. Aesthetic, I will say. I've just been dying over the 70s aesthetic. I have a whole new like graphics rolling out for my channel. Just stupid things like my banners and whatnot, but they all have a very 70s vibe to them. It's really where my core vibe is. I love it. I really do. The colors and the patterns and the textiles. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I think because this one's more of like a burnt gold, it gives me that vibe. You guys know I love like the colors of like old ugly couches and things. This reminds me of that. I think we had a couch this color growing up, and it was hideous and fantastic, and that's why I love this. Isn't that pretty? And still on the sheer side, not too overly metallic. Now let's do the other eye, and of course that's just a little more gritty than the primer side. Still very colorful though. Still very, it's weird. This one I feel like maybe I put more on this side than this side because I feel like the non-primer one is bolder. So maybe I didn't have enough on my brush. Well, at the very least it shows you it has a good build-up. You can really build up that color if you want. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. So that is the shade Pure. You guys, what did you think of this palette? I love it. I really do. I'm excited to wear this summer. It's kind of just perfect. It's everything you would need. It's nothing too heavy, too bold. Still some fun pops of color and shimmer for anything exciting. I love this freaking gold. This might be literally my favorite color in the whole palette. I love it. It's a vibe. And the primer's really, really nice too. It is super weightless. I don't think it's absolutely necessary. I think you probably have, if you have a primer at home, it'll work fine. But if you're a rare beauty fan, maybe you're trying to build up your little collection of rare beauty, it's a good product. It really, really is. I also have the face primer that I'm going to be using in the next video because I'm going to be using a ton of new makeup then. Thank you guys for being here today, and thank you for giving me the few minutes in the beginning of this video to just talk about where I've been, and I appreciate you guys. If you're still here, I don't know, I'm terrified to upload this and that like everyone's forgot about me and no one will watch. That's my biggest fear for sure. So I hope that you guys will be here, and I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!